Welcome to the Property Podcast. Here we talk about property laws, property rights, and sometimes property investment. Namhlanje, I wanted us to talk about the different property professionals that are involved within the property space, property development space. I'll start with estate agents, property practitioners. They're no longer called estate agents, they're now called property practitioners. What they do is they connect buyers and sellers of a property. These are the first people that you go to if you already have a house that you live in and you'd like to sell. They're also usually the person that everyone will go to say, hey, I'm looking for a property and I will need Tile. Do you have anything there that is listed? And so they will help you with that. They make sure that the process runs smoothly, that you enter into a sale agreement with the buyer as a seller of a property, or with a seller as a buyer of a property, and that agreement is legal. So there's a lot of them that we know that are recognized. They have to be registered with a PPRA, which is the regulation that governs them. It makes sure ukuthi bonke barejistile awufumani ombombayi be-property practitioners who will come and take your money and say they're selling you a property when they're selling you a property that is not even on the market, that has no business being sold to you by anyone else. Now we're done with them. Let's move on to the next people that are also famous. It will be conveyancers. Now conveyancers are attorneys, but they are special attorneys in that in addition to studying law, they've gone to study further conveyancing, property law. They specialize in property law. Bona ke into abayenzayo ukuthi njeba umhlaba okanye property ownwa ngulomuntu at this point, they make sure ukuthi it is transferred from this person to the next person. That is their role in the whole process. But they make sure kuti everything is done legally within compliance, be it with umasipala, in terms of rates, clearance, and all of that. They just make sure kuti the property is transferred with no issues. They make sure kuti at the end of the transaction, at the deeds office, the person that has their name written there is the person that has paid for the property, and the person that is selling the property is the person that is authorized to sell the property according to the law, according to the existing property deed. Now let's talk about the people that are less known, which is the people that are involved in the property before it gets to the stage where it can be sold. Those will be your architectural professionals. I'm sure you know about those. These are the people that bring dreams of people to life. How do they do this? They draw building plans. So you have an idea, you have a vision of what you want your home to look like. What they will do is they will sit down, talk to you, and get an idea of where you want to go with your vision, and they will draw a nice plan for you. Now, because we have a technology, they'll even do a modeling for you, 3D model, so that we born and they'll show you this and you agree with it. They'll make sure in addition to it being pretty, looking good, it also complies with municipal bylaws, so that yonke lento yenzayo ibe semthethweni, because we are people who are governed by the law. But before architects can do all of that, there's these people that are not known at all: town planners and land surveyors. Now, what do town planners do in the whole process? The town planners, they plan the town. They make sure ukuthi there's enough schools within the town and there's enough units to cover that school. Also, they make sure that the developments, even if you're just building that one house, it is in compliance with planning bylaws, with plans as gamaspalas are long term. Now, we can be confused. You just said the architect does that. Where does a town planner come in here? These are two different people. There's Uguti, what do we want the city to look like? What do we want the town to look like? And what do we want each stand within the town to look like? That's where town planners enter. Architectural professionals zona ziti, what do we want our buildings to look like and our infrastructure kumele ihamba kanjani within that building, within that side of that building. That is the difference, I would say, between there's but without just complicating it. That's the difference between what a town planner would do and what an architect would do. A town planner looks at the overview of the city as a whole. An architect will look at that specific building. This is what you want the building to look like. And then you have land surveyors. No one knows what a land surveyor does, but a land surveyor is someone that looks like me. What do we do exactly? We make sure that these structures that architects design are built within the boundaries, because as a person, when you buy a piece of land, it has its own boundaries. You're not buying the entire site you're not buying the entire world, you're not buying the entire city, you're buying your specific site. So you want to make sure that this building that the architect has designed will fit into your specific site. So that's what land surveyors do. But more than that, they also do a survey to show a topography of the site, so that the architectural professional will design the house based on the topography of the site. And okay, indlu yami kumele kube ne-garage ehleli phezulu, and then when you go downstairs, for an example, that's where you're going to have your lounge area and all of that. So for an architect to be able to come up with all those ideas, they need to have a terrain, topography, what does the land look like. I'm sure I've forgotten other people. If I've forgotten you and you're a built environment specialist, just know it's because I didn't want this video to be too long. See you next time. Bye.